Hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Soffa. Welcome to Lakers Live pregame show presented by 265 Media. Aaron and Manny, we got the rematch tonight versus the Chicken Nuggets, man. How y'all doing tonight, man?
What's
Doing good, man.
up?
Let's go. Rematch of Western Conference Finals. Let's go.
Yeah, man, it's the Western Conference Finals. Probably a preview. The rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals, basically. For me, I want to see, like, this is supposedly the statement game for Denver. For me, man, Lakers are the third seed, Denver's 4. So this is the game right here that's going to be one of the toughest. I feel like this game right here, we're going to see what we're made of as far as like the competition. Because Denver's talented. They got Michael Porter Jr., the Joker, but they did lose Mason, the Plumlee brother, and they lost Jeremy Grant. So I feel like the Lakers can exploit Denver's weaknesses tonight. So I'm gonna throw it to Aaron. Aaron, what do you think about tonight's game, man, so far?
Hey, well, one of their biggest pieces of Denver's scoring is the Joker, man. Jokic. He is their bread and butter for that team. He can just go out there and give you points. The dude shoots threes. I watched him shoot a few threes in the game, and I was like, okay, this guy's got it all now. I mean, it'll be definitely a good challenge for the Laker bigs. And hey, you know what, Marc Gasol, time to wake up, buddy. You got a huge guy that's gonna play bully ball with you. Last year, Howard and McGee had fun with him because they were just making his life miserable as much as he could. Now you have a different looking Laker team, so it's going to be a good challenge. And you know what? It's a good statement game for Gasol right here.
Oh, absolutely. This is Gasol's coming out party for sure, because especially with, we already know that AD and Joker are going to have big matchups because those are the starting centers. But for the bench, Marc Gasol could have an asset tonight, and I'll tell you how he can have an asset, because Denver doesn't have Mason Plumlee anymore. He's on Detroit. So for him to eat the second unit, Gasol, tonight is the night for him to do that. Look, we don't know what he's going to do, Gasol, because he's been disappointing this year, but if there's a game for him to have a coming out party, it's definitely tonight. And also, tonight's going to be a big matchup, not only because it's the rematch of the Western Conference Finals, but because the matchup between AD and Joker and the matchup between LeBron and Murray, that's going to be a big one, a big test.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It's going to be a big test for us. And Lakers are 4-4 at home and we're coming back from a 7-game road trip. So if we come out struggling and not being executed tonight, it wouldn't surprise me, because usually when Lakers come back from a long road trip, we have lapses defensively, offensively, we get cold. But I expect the Lakers to come out. In my personal opinion, I expect the Lakers to come out and make a statement, because who's going to guard AD? I know the Joker. Joker versus AD, that's going to be a potential big matchup right there. But here's the thing I want to see Lakers do is, talking to my brother last night about it, want the Lakers just double Joker. I know he can facilitate, pass out, but I'd rather have Joker get like 10 points, 15 assists. I'll be okay with that, because Joker's capable of going for 35 and 12 easy, so we got to double team him, maybe even set a hard foul on him, set the tempo early and be like, okay, Joker, okay, you want to get off this year, you got to play something that's physical, so I just want to see Lakers come out tonight. I just want to see Lakers come out defensively focused and better ball movement, and don't let a no-name player on Denver get the career high on you.
Yeah. Well, we could sit here and talk about the Joker for a whole show. His last game, they played Utah, man. They're a great team as well. He came out there and just absolutely dominated in that game. He got 47 in the last game. So he seriously, the ball, their Denver's offense is all run through him. He wants to score, he can just attack the basket and go. He wants to spread the floor, spread the perimeter. He can bury threes. So literally, he will give Gasol, a lot of difficult time if he doesn't step up, if he doesn't play the way he should be playing. It could be a very big matchup for him, and he could also lose that too. So it's either a win or a lose for him.
Technical
So,
difficulties.
sorry,
Go
guys.
ahead, man. Go ahead.
Back to what I was saying. Absolutely. We know that Jokic is really, really great. Another thing that's amazing about his game is passing. He's very, very good at passing. If I look at the stats right here, he has 8.6 assists per game, which is absolutely impeccable. Where you guys ever hear a big man averaging 8 assists a game. Like we all know Gasol has done that in his heyday with Memphis and Toronto. But like I think like Joker's like basketball idol had to be Marc Gasol because he emulates his game around him a lot. Like if you can see like Jokic, he reminds me a lot of a prime Gasol. Like and that's what we have to watch out for. AD hasn't been like as consistent as we thought he would be this year. Like, he's been great, but he hasn't been like he was last year. Tonight he has to turn it up. Then we have to have Gasol that needs to turn it up. Both our big men need to lock down Jokic, or else tonight can be trouble because we know he can shoot threes, we know he can pass, we know he can rebound, we know he can score, we know he can steal, we know he can block. He's basically, like I saw a comment before that John pulled up, that Jokic MVP. He could definitely win it this year. Personally, I have Embiid or LeBron winning it, but Jokic can definitely win it this year. He's very good, and we have to shut him down. When like as John always says, we need to punch him in the mouth as the game starts because we know Denver can really get it going, and that's what we need to do. We need to punch him right in the mouth right early.
Yeah, most definitely. Come out physicality wise, set the tempo early. But there's a player that always gets off against the Lakers. Not I know Jamal Murray does, but Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. has improved his game from last season. He can explode from anywhere from 15 points to 30 points. He's capable. His game is a mini version of Devin Booker. Just the way he plays, he kind of reminds me of a Devin Booker. We have to come out and guard him really well. We know our defense is number one. Defense rating wise, number one at 108.4 defense rating. That's first in the league. We're going to throw Caruso at him. We're going to throw KCP, Wesley Matthews. Hopefully they get more minutes tonight. Morris gets more minutes. We got to open up the rotation. Even call Giannis's brother and let him go against Joker. Tonight we got to open up our rotation tonight, man.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. The 9-man rotation's been working, but you know what? I think honestly, if I'm looking at it as a perspective, if I'm gonna try and look at it from a coach's view, I think it was, hey, you know what? We want to give THT some playing time. We want to let maybe whatever Wesley Matthews is dealing with. Maybe he just needs one of those, like, you know what? Take a few games off, get your mind right, get yourself reset in the mindset, and let Keith come out there because Keith didn't look great either. And I think honestly, the way Vogel goes is if people are struggling, he's gonna give them a few days, if not to just reset the brakes here, restart the engine. And tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Keith and you see Wesley Matthews out there because I want to see those guys dominate too. You might see THT not have many minutes tonight, but it's okay because you know what? Those guys, we're sacrificing a few other people to get other guys minutes. So it might be one of those opportunities you see those guys play. I want to see Keith come out there. I think it's all based off of how many minutes they've been playing, and I think a little bit of fatigue too.
Oh, absolutely. Like, we all know Vogel's going to play with the rotation because he wants to experiment before the playoffs because we're 100% making the playoffs. Everybody knows that. So, like, he's trying to experiment before the playoffs start. I know the season's early. That's why he's doing 9-man rotations. But I watched a few clips of Backstage Lakers before I got into the stream. And I saw that Vogel was like, that he wants to, like, try to make THT get more minutes, which is good because he's an Energizer bunny and he has a lot of hustle on the court. But the 9-man rotation's been working, like Aaron, you just said. But like what John said, wouldn't be a bad like an option for putting Costas in and putting Kaycock in because we need all the big men that we need tonight because Jokic is so tall and such a great player. We need all the big men we need just to get in there in the paint, block him, also box out, set screens. We need it all tonight. Tonight is a very important game because we're third and they're fourth, and it's a make or break game for us because I want us to get the top seed in the Pacific and the top seed in the West.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I want to see us come out, play that defense tenacity, and also we're gonna get into key players of the game for me tonight. I'm gonna go. I haven't done it in a while. I got Anthony Davis going for 35 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. His defensive impact will be the main reason we win tonight. He's gonna set the tempo defensively tonight.
You know what? I haven't gone with him in a while. Manny, don't kill me. But I'm going to go with the King, man. I haven't gone with the King James in a while. Do your thing, man. I'm not even worried. Go put up there a triple-double. I say I say at least 35, at least 30, 35 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists. Come out there, go out there and show them a good rematch and show them that you still mean business.
I'm gonna go with my other guy, Montrezl Harrell, just because not only because he's been like so great off the bench, he's my sixth man of the year pick, but like I said before, we need all the big men we need tonight because of Jokic being so dominant. And I want Harrell coming in off the bench and making a big impact very, very early because as he does that, I'm predicting he's going to get a stat line of 17, 10, and 4.
That's a good
Yeah,
line
man.
too. I mean,
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a good line too, man. And our bench, man. I know we came back from a 7-game road trip, but Montrezl was getting off last game. I want to see more from. I was gonna say Danny Green. Boom. Go ahead, Aaron. My fault.
Danny Green,
I
oh my
saw
God.
Danny Green. I saw Danny Green on the TV. So my
Hey,
my fault, Laker Nation.
hey, maybe you miss him a little bit. You never know.
I miss Josh Hart.
Hell no.
No, I'd say honestly, I want to see more from Keith. I want to see, I want to see him get back in the groove of things because don't forget, like he was clutch in the playoffs too.
Yes.
I think if he comes out tonight, don't get me wrong. Like we were talking about the rotations and stuff, but you could definitely see a 9 or 10 man rotation tonight. You could see Keith getting some more minutes. Maybe THT comes in as a off the 2 instead of relying him on the 1. You could see a different lot of switches. I definitely want to see all the other guys step up. I don't think particularly you're going to see Kcock and Kostas and the main like bench come in there until this game is kaput. And if the Lakers, don't get me wrong, if the Lakers out there out hustle Denver and there's 5 minutes left in the game or 2 minutes left in the game and this game has actually been like long put to bed, that's when I'll see the bench empty. That's when you put Quinn Cook in there, Devontae Kcock. I don't know. We haven't seen Jared Dudley. I know he's been dealing with some nagging injuries. Hopefully he'll be back soon. I mean, obviously he's a key piece to the Lakers team and the bench. Kind of keep them hyped up on energy. So it should be interesting what they end up doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Jared Dudley is someone that I really like, not only because he wants championship last year, but also because his mentorship is very, very important to this team. Like, you could see with the reason why Kuzma's defense and his rebounding has been going so good this year because Jared Dudley has been helping him off the court, and he's just such a good mentor to the young guys. He's like a veteran that doesn't play, but you want him on your team because he's such a good locker room guy. And like, I wouldn't mind seeing him play because he's very good at making a lot of threes. He's made a few good threes last season. I want to see him on the court. Even Quinn Cook. I don't know why Frank Vogel doesn't play Quinn Cook, but I guess it's because of the 9-man rotation. He's like, you know what? I can't include everybody. I just want to make this team deep enough so we can compete for a championship.
Yeah, man, championship is all we need, and so we're working towards. The player I was trying to figure out, because I was watching the game and then being distracted, was Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Man, ever since he had that big game, he's been struggling. Ever since he had that like 24-point game, 25-point game, I think it was against Philly or Cleveland, somewhere around there. I want him to step. He's been struggling. He was struggling from the 3-point line lately. He's been struggling. His shot's not the form, but hey, it's part of a road trip. But I think that's why I want to see KCP step up in tonight's game. He's going to have to guard Jamal Murray. He's going to have to guard Gary Harris. Gary Harris might not play tonight, but if he does, the Lakers are going to have their hands full.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gary Harris, you can't forget about him. He was huge. He was big. He hit some big shots for Denver in the playoffs. Him and Murray work together like pick and pop. And he's another guy. I mean, obviously they have PJ Dozer's out for them tonight. I don't think he's not really. He's kind of one of their backups, but not too worried about that for them. They're still deep, no matter what. They're missing Harris, but that's not going to stop them from going off. Jamal Murray's going to be fired up about this game. With his little attitude that he was given towards the Lakers. So I expect it to be, number one, a high scoring game. Number two, it's going to be a real good test for the Lakers because we know they're 4-4 at Staples. Not cutting it right now. I mean, you got to have a winning record at home. You got to change that. You had a great record on the road. that's got to translate to home because look, it sucks playing without fans. I get that. It's very difficult for it's difficult for
Yep.
the Lakers how they're handling it. They play a lot. A lot of the road games they played on this trip, majority of them had fans in the stands, so it felt a little normal, as we know in the last games or so. Um, but you gotta still come out there, bring the energy, find the energy, use your bench, use whatever you can do. If you could survive the bubble like you did with no fans there, you could get this winning record up at home.
Look, guys, I hate it that there's no fans, but what can you do? We can't spread the virus. Like, I don't like it either because, like, the games are quiet. But if we want to stay safe, we can't let fans in. And thoughts on Randall, Ingram, and D'Lo? What would they been if we kept him? I'll tell you where we would be. We wouldn't have won a championship. We would still be stuck in the lottery because, look, as much as I love the young core, I'm glad they're gone for the reason that we have AD and we have LeBron, and now it's back to championships. It's back to where we belong. Like, we didn't belong in the lottery. That's not the Laker way. We're not the Sacramento Kings here. We're not the Phoenix Suns here. Like, we're the LA Lakers. This organization is all about championships. We don't care about competing for the lottery.
And you know what? I'm gonna just peek in on that thought too. I will say, don't get me wrong. Randall, Ingram, D'Lo, they were all good guys. D'Lo and Randall, they all got a chance to play with Kobe Bryant, which is amazing. I mean, it's an amazing mark in your history of a basketball player. Something they're never gonna forget in their lifetime. But also, I was glad to see that they went somewhere that they can have a starting spot that they can
Yes.
play. They can have minutes. They could score. Ingram is tearing it up on the Pelicans, man. He got a well earned veteran contract, and you know what? I was thrilled to see him get an extension there. D'Lo has jumped around a little bit, but he stepped up his scoring too. So and Randall, I believe, is in New York, but you know what? He's been dominating. So you know what? I'm happy that when we got him, and they were doing what they could, but now they're succeeding, and they're succeeding in bigger roles. And obviously, I'm
Facts.
sure they're proud to see the Lakers turn it around too, because I mean, it was pretty rough seeing only a 35, 20 to 30 win team versus now where we've completely turned that all around.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And Laker Nation, you guys forgot to put in Jordan Clarkson too, and it's what like Manny said, and Larry Nance Jr. and Vici Zubac, and
Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball,
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant. But the question is, thoughts? Hey, Randall's doing amazing this year in New York, man. And I saw the NBA All-Star votes for the leaders.
in there.
He's in there on the Eastern side. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it. He's been balling out this season, man. Shout out to Randall, Ingram, D'Lo. And like Manny said, we'd probably still be in the lottery to keep 100 with you. We still would be in the lottery. And
Thank
here's
you.
the thing, Laker fans, I understand that they're talented, but stop saying you miss these guys. So would you rather have them or this right here, championship hat,
That right there.
right there?
Right there, I'd rather
I don't
have.
care. I would trade every player on my roster for Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis is a generational talent. I would do that 10 times out of 10. Every time we get talent, trade a player for like Anthony Davis, because if we didn't do that trade for AD, LeBron probably would never came. Actually, LeBron probably would have asked out of LA, But good job, Just the young core that we had, talented, love what they did with the Lakers. Good luck to you in your journey. Like Lonzo Ball was a disappointment because of his dad talking, saying my son's better than. I was gonna say Steve Kerr. Where Curry, Stephen Curry. I was gonna say Seth Curry. Jeez, I'm playing like the late. My podcasting tonight is like freaking the Chargers tonight. Oh my god. Anyway, Lonzo Ball just being a disappointment, but hey, he got traded to the Pelicans and he's been playing really well. Him and his brother, the Ball brothers are playing really talented, So I have respect for respect for Alonzo Ball's game, very talented.
Yeah, honestly, I think if LeVar had shut his mouth when Lonzo was there, he wouldn't have caused such a chaos. I think still Lonzo would have been traded, period. But I think Lonzo his name wouldn't have been involved too much, except for a major trade that happened, because his dad just came in here with a loudmouth and expected such high expectations and everything, and then said, "Oh well, he deserves to do this. He deserves to do this. And hey, you know what? LeVar got his piece from Magic Johnson and got the whole Lakers front office on him and says, "Look, just shut your mouth, dude. You're not a player. Stop butting into things. You be a dad, and he'll be an NBA superstar." And he did. And then Lonzo gets traded. He shuts his mouth now after his kids decided to dump his crappy shoes. So good props to them. And you know what? He's been doing okay, and it should be interesting what the other brother ends up doing since he's a free agent.
No, if you don't know, guys, I'm a big Lonzo fan, but I'm so happy to see him thrive in New Orleans right now. But I don't really blame Lonzo really much for him playing like so on the Lakers, because I blame the media. And you want to know why I blame the media? Because they kept on putting microphones and they kept giving LeVar Ball headlines. That's what made Lonzo get like so hyped in the spotlight, because LeVar would say like, "My son's better than Steph Curry. I could beat Michael Jordan 1-on-1." He would say like so many outrageous, delusional things that would make ESPN and Fox Sports 1 like all be like, "Okay, we want to talk about this guy. He's a loudmouth. We want to put him in." Like, I just felt bad for Lonzo that he went through all that, but he's not a Laker anymore. It is what it is. We got our squad now, and we're championship.
But that's telling me Lonzo Ball wasn't the spotlight was too big on him. Him going through that, like just like
That's
Josh
true.
Hart, those bright lights were too bright. Because I actually met Josh Hart, and he just got really Hollywood, and he struggled, and now he's in the Pelicans, still struggling, But it's other than that, man. And Laker fans, I know Lonzo Ball's on the trading block. Do I want him? No, I do not. There's your answer, Laker Nation.
Now he had a stint with the Lakers, and unless somehow he's, I don't know, and tears it up, after gets an MVP like years after all these big major veterans are out of the league, and he's won a few chips, then it's something maybe to talk about. Maybe later on, like when he's much older, in his 30s, late 30s, maybe there's something to talk about. But he did his time here. All the young guys did their time there. LeBron came in, had Lonzo's never gonna forget being able to play with LeBron. He'll never forget that in his life. To be the same teammate as him. Neither will Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram. That whole young core will be glad that they got a chance to play with one of the greatest. And that's memories that they're gonna have forever.
Like, as a big Lonzo guy, I would love him back on the Lakers. But do we really need him? No, probably not, because we got our dominant squad right now. But I agree with Vince just said right now. He said that young core we had were talented. It just sucks Luke Walton sucked. Look what's happening to the Kings. He's right. I was a big Luke Walton hater. He was a horrible coach, because he would take out players when they would be getting hot from the three, getting hot from the field, and he would just like they would be good. They would take him out. He would just mess up all kinds of rotations. He was just a terrible coach. And I've mentioned to you guys, but I mentioned this to Vince, and he knows this because he's watching. Like, the Kings should have never got rid of Dave Yeager. He almost brought him to the playoffs, and they hired Luke Walton, and then it's horrible. I feel bad for De'Aaron Fox. He should request a trade, in my opinion.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Sacramento's doing the same thing every year. Have talent, they don't have to run the organization right. But final thoughts, everybody in the comments. What is your score prediction, man? I got the Lakers winning by 24 tonight. Honor of Kobe.
Wow.
We forgot keys to the game. What's your keys to the game?
No, we said
Mine?
earlier in the show.
My keys to the game and my final thoughts. My key is just come out there, play with intensity, get the job done early, and keep your foot down on the gas the whole time. Also gotta stop the Joker. You have to stop him, or he will kill the paint, and it will be some ugly numbers for stats that I don't think the Lakers want to see that happen.
My final thoughts is basically, like I said the whole show, we got to have all our bigs ready to stop the Joker, because we all know he's going to be really, really dominant. And I don't know how you guys say it's going to be a blowout win. I don't see it. This is like two top teams. I think it's going to be a 5-6 point game. I have the Lakers winning. I was winning 113 to like 107. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be a very dominant win.
If it's 132 to 87, I will do push-ups with my shirt off if LeBron drops 81 points. If that happens. But yeah, man. My keys to the
No,
game
that's
as
an
well.
outrageous one.
Don't play lazy like usual. Come out, grit, grind, punch them in the mouth, and if you get up big, don't relax, don't fall asleep. The usual. But that's will end the Lakers Live pregame show. Make sure you guys tune in to the Lakers Live postgame show, 10:30 p.m. West Coast time, 1:30 Eastern time. Until then, Laker Nation, stay tuned for something coming up this week. Peace out, Laker Nation.
Take care.